Ladies and gentlemen, I am Penguin, and I would like to welcome you to the land of Antica Shipyard, where we will be seeing a Terran versus Protoss of the highest caliber between the yellow Terran in the 2 o'clock spawning location, EmpireHappy, and his opponent in the 8 o'clock cross spawn location, the orange Protoss, Naniwa from Team Dignitas. Naniwa, of course, being hugely successful lately, winning the MLG Invitational and then advancing all the way to the finals of MLG Providence before finally falling to Lenok. And of course, we do know that he won against potentially two of the best, if not the two best players in the world to take the MLG Invitational, winning against QIM Nesty and QIM MVP to claim that prestigious crown. Anyway, just a little bit of a talk about the map. Actually, no, I haven't talked about Happy yet. Sorry, Happy. Happy is not quite as reputable as Naniwa, but he's a very, very good player. He's mostly known for playing online tournaments, the daily tournaments that Blizzard advertises, those ones, $200 prize pools, etc., etc. I don't know if he's been to any huge LANs. I think he's at WCG right now, but I don't know if he's been to any MLGs and such. But I do know that in the 3 seasons thus far that have finished in StarCraft 2, he has finished in the top 5 of the European Grandmaster server every single time, so he's a very ladder-heavy player. He gets a lot of his practice from the ladder, of course, able to play against his teammates as well. Naniwa is going to be representing Sweden, and Happy is going to be representing Russia. Naniwa actually going for the Nexus first, which is a bit optimistic, just given that he doesn't know what the spawn locations are at this point, and it's a bit dangerous since he has no idea what EmpireHappy's doing yet. So, Happy not looking like he's going to go for any sort of cheese that would punish that. This gas does indicate he's not going to be going for any sort of 2 racks, 3 racks all-in play. But if he doesn't manage to get a forge up pretty fast, any sort of fast reactor Hellions could actually maybe even get in there before there's any sort of huge amounts of cannon defense. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what he goes. There's a gateway coming up. He's actually that's actually interesting. Rather than going for the forge, going for a gateway. Not something I'm too familiar with. Anyway, though, EmpireHappy has gotten his orbital command up, getting the first couple of Marines out, looking like he's going to try to do a little bit of a poke at the front. He knows now because of the scout that there is not much in the way of defense over there, so Happy could try to punish that by maybe even forcing the Nexus to go down. Probably not, but at least delaying the amount of time that Nani was going to be able to take to transfer these probes over. There is going to be a cybernetics core going up, chrono boosting out these 2 zealots now as well to try to deal with these Marines. And Happy is queuing up a bunker over there, and the zealot won't be able to block it, but Happy won't even bother putting that up. He's just going to turn around and say, you know what, there are zealots out, not even going to bother. Naniwa still hasn't scouted EmpireHappy's position. He's going to be heading over there right now with this probe, but it's pretty late. Factory's just going up for Happy, putting down a starport as well, going for the Destiny Cloudfist build, also more commonly known as the 111. Pretty common build for Terran, especially versus Protoss. Very, very potent. Could go for any number of things right now. Most likely, it looks like he's going to most likely be going for a Marine, Medevac, Marauder, bio-heavy force. Going to be getting out of Hellion. Will help him maintain some map control. On a map as big as this, Hellions, units as fast as Hellions are very nice to be able to get all of that scouting information, get some really good map vision going on. Has his second gas already, and that starport will finish. He's going to be putting down a command center as well. Going to be switching. Actually, that's very interesting. He's going to be switching off this factory and putting that starport down on a tech lab rather than the reactor that would allow him to get those medevacs out faster. And he's going to be going for a Raven. Very interesting from EmpireHappy. I'm very interested to see what he does with that Raven. Not something I can say I've seen very often. Going to be getting a tech lab on that barracks and going to be getting that stim pack upgrade. We're going to be seeing a robotics facility, a couple of gateways, and a Stargate out of Naniwa. This is going to be very interesting as well. Wow, I've been saying that quite a bit. But I'm interested to see what he'll do with the Stargate. He could be going for a bit of Void Ray harass, but that is less common against Terran. I would suspect maybe a couple of Phoenixes. Might try to force his opponent to go for some sort of like mass anti-air if he feels like he's threatened to if he feels like Naniwa's going to be committing to quite a bit of air, but he does also have this robotics facility out, so we could be seeing a transition into Colossus as soon as Naniwa sees that big bio ball, which I assume is going to be coming. Command center just going to be finishing up for Happy. He'll probably morph that into an orbital command before flying it over. Yeah, there we go. That does, of course, allow him to start gaining energy on that orbital while it's flying over. The factory is going to be put into forward position. Not so much. I don't think he's going to be getting a wall or anything. It's probably just so you can see things coming in earlier. This Raven is now out. It's going to be generating energy, but not really doing much at this point. He's also going to start getting medevacs out one at a time. No reactor on that yet. And whoa, what was that? Oh, salvage debunker. I just heard the explosion. And yeah, I'm going to be getting a tech lab on this barracks as well. I'm going to be starting combat shield. Stimpack not quite done, so that tech lab does make sense. And he's going to be getting marauders out of the tech lab barracks, as well as continuing to get marines two at a time out of this barracks. Sorry. Yeah, I need to learn to speak a bit before I cast. We're going to be seeing another medevac coming out here, just going to augment this bio-heavy force. This Raven is still not really doing much. On the one hand, it is a detector, so I guess it could be some sort of DT-proofing device or OBS-proofing device. Not really sure what he's going for with that. There is an OBS. Speaking of OBS, there's an OBS moving out across the map right now, and he's actually going to be going for his second observer. So he wants that map. He wants that map vision as best as he can have it. Stargates are up. Oh, there are actually a couple of Phoenixes. I'm sorry, I missed that. Looks like each Phoenix has one kill on it. Looks like they probably picked up a couple of SCVs and shot them down. Yeah, we're not seeing Happy sort of divert from his... Ooh, gonna get that observer. Happy's not going to be diverting from his original game plan, just going to continue with what he's doing. Phoenix is not going to be forcing out anything that he doesn't want. Concussive shells are now also on the way, and combat shields is finishing up. He's going to continue pumping out that very bio-heavy force. He's actually going to stim forward a couple of these marines to take up that OBS. Very nice play by Happy. Every little victory counts, and of course with those medevacs, that damage doesn't last long. And he's going to start knocking down these back rocks to the third. It's going to be very good to, once Naniwa gets that third up, those back rocks at the back being gone are going to help Happy have another entryway into his bases. There's another observer on the map here, moving out to try to get as much vision as he can. Two Phoenixes are going to see what's going on, and they'll see the rocks go down. Yeah, is he going to stim forward and get them? No. Looks like he's just sort of going to dart around to these. Ooh, we'll stim forward to a few of them. Will he get the Phoenix? No, he won't. There's going to be an engagement. Double Guardian Shield going up. And 2-2 is... what 2-2? What? Anyway, the point defense storm does go down, and it looks like this bio-heavy force is going to be able to kite those zealots. Charge is not done, so the kiting is going to be very effective at this point. Those Phoenixes are going to be focusing down the medevacs. One medevac does fall, but Raven is getting very low on health. That is a very gas-heavy unit. Wants to keep it alive, and he's being able to kite these zealots very, very well, but the sentries and the stalkers are still able to do lots of damage. The Phoenixes take down all of the air. Now, the Raven is the last thing to fall, but it does in fact fall. And it looks like Happy's going to repel this attack. He's going to stim forward, try to pick up the last two. The concussive shells being able to, allowing him to pick up those units very well. And this very injured force is going to head home. A pretty good engagement for Happy. If you look at the supply count, Naniwa was quite a bit ahead before that engagement. Now it has evened itself out. A couple more gateways going to be going up to augment that gateway-heavy force. I have to comment, this is very nice building placement. Taking up as little space as possible, but none of them really being Artosis pylons. I think every building is powered by at least 2 pylons. Very nice positioning. We're going to see the Templar Archives going up as well. Ooh, these Phoenixes are going to pick off a couple of guys. Going to get a couple free kills there. How many kills are those Phoenixes at? 4 on that one, 3 on that one, 7 between them. Will be forced to drop that and flee. Third base is going to be going up for Naniwa. Third base for EmpireHappy is just going to be floating over to his location. He will be getting that expansion before his opponent. These gateways are now done. They're going to be morphing into the devastating warp gates. We are going to see we see these 2 forges upgrades 2 at a time. Going to be getting that upgrade advantage that might help him later in the game. Will he lose these Phoenixes? They're still darting around. More than anything, the Phoenixes are just forcing Happy to concentrate on them and allowing him to spend less time concentrating on his macro, which is infinitely helpful. We are going to be seeing that Naniwa is pretty far ahead in the upgrades. While he's almost done to this 2-2 upgrades, EmpireHappy has just started weapons level 2 and armor level 1. Slacked a bit on getting that second engineering bay up, but he is getting a Ghost Academy with the Mobius reactor to increase the energy of Ghosts. Starting energy. Yeah. And Ghosts, of course, are devastating against Protoss. They can just remove those shields like they are nothing. Happy getting a bit supply blocked here. There is a pretty ruthless force out here for Naniwa. I'm going to be waiting for a couple of reinforcements. 2-2 is now done. And that 2-2, if he attacks before this 2-1 is done, EmpireHappy will be so far behind in the upgrades that this will be a brutal slaughter. Happy will see the units. And Naniwa's just going to send these 2 Phoenixes in just to do a little more harassment. Gonna get that guy. Ooh, looks like he might lose a Phoenix though, and the Phoenix is going to go down. Wow. Wow. And looks like he might be moving around, trying to... Ooh, he's going to be the one to take out the back rocks this time. Does Happy see it? Happy does! The scan is going to see just how big it is. Very zealot heavy force. Those Marauders are going to be very helpful against that, but they're just not enough Marauders, I would say. A couple of good force fields would absolutely obliterate Happy's army. Ooh, very nice EMPs going off. Removing the shields. And, oh, Happy's going to be forcing the engagement in a choke. That is terrible for the Zealots. They'll be doing a lot of damage, and the upgrade advantage is definitely counting for something, but that was a very bad engagement for him. Oh, he's going to lose a sentry, and the Zealots are just going to run back down there into their own deaths. Wow. That was a terrible engagement for Naniwa. Horrible engagement there for him. Getting caught in that choke. Couple of force fields might have helped, but we did not see any force fields. All we saw was this mineral line sort of get cleaned up, but wow, Happy now has a pretty significant supply lead. He's going to be moving forward, trying to destroy some of these pylons. Naniwa has put up pylons in pretty key locations. They have sort of double usage. They can act as forward pylons, and they block the expansions from going up. Well, Naniwa has established his third base pretty well, while Happy's being forward. Ooh, that's a lot of drones over there. Let's just check the worker supply. Naniwa actually has the lead in workers, but after that terrible engagement, Happy has a massive army lead. Although Naniwa is able to produce quite a few of these units just because a lot of them are Zealots. 3-3's almost done though, and when 3-3 finishes, oh, Happy hasn't even started his 3-2 upgrades. Any engagement until Happy gets those upgrades up is going to go horribly for the Russian Terran. And Naniwa's even pushing out. Lots of Archons in this, a couple of Archons in this force could go down pretty easily to some well-placed EMPs, but EmpireHappy is going to run back. He's seen the upgrades. He knows he has no chance. He's probably ruining the fact that he salvaged all those bunkers now. Naniwa going to pull in through the back door. Might be able to take this expansion down very quickly if Happy doesn't do something. And that Ghost is not going to get much going down. Oh, we're not seeing the EMPs we need to. Oh, we see a bit of an EMP, not as effective as it could have been, and the storms are going to obliterate Happy's army here. Happy's army falling pretty quickly. He's forced to evacuate, getting the stim. He's going to be able to take out a lot of these units, but Naniwa's taking out that base, and a storm once again forcing the units back. Very nice storm micro by Naniwa. Not so much there. Happy is forced to just sort of sit idly by as his third base is taken down, and he's not going to re-rally these SCVs. Those SCVs are going to be a whole bunch of free kills from Happy. Oh, and now it's Happy's turn to be in the choke. You do not want to be in a choke, especially when your opponent does have Storm. You're going to try to push forward again, but the Storms, if he gets a couple more good Storms, this could be over. Not going to get any Storms. The Templar are taken down, and Happy will repel this attack. But that was not the kind of engagement that Happy wanted to have. After seeing the potency of that hugely upgraded Gateway army, he's going to be getting his next stage of upgrades himself. But wow. Those 3-3 units are just so good for the Protoss army. And just throwing in a couple of those Immortals as well to tank the damage. So smart by Naniwa. Going to be seeing another base going up for EmpireHappy. Going to try to regain that third base as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Naniwa has gotten this base up. That Marine has actually taken off half of that Nexus's health in shields. Not bad, Mr. Marine. And of course, that allows Happy to know that that is there. I have to say though, I don't think Happy's done as much as he could for this game. He's had a massive army supply lead. He's had medevacs, but we haven't seen the drops. We haven't seen the aggression that he would have needed to come back from this. And I feel like he's at such a deficit now that for him to even hope of winning this game, he needs to go for some drops. I think a Marauder drop here could be devastating. All of his tech in one place. If he drops maybe 8 Marauders, they could work their way through maybe 4 or 5 gateways. Maybe even if they came down here, the Stargate. There's just so much they could do. But we're not seeing any of that out of Happy. Happy's just playing a far too passive game. Just sitting there on his 2 bases, now to be 3 bases again. Just sort of sitting there, not really knowing what to do. And Naniwa's maxed. Naniwa's aggression has just really been brutal. He's going to be throwing up the gold base as well. He did lose this. There was a drop here. Taking my advice, Happy did finally drop there to take that down, but it's too little too late at this point. He needs to be dropping 2 or 3 bases at once to sort of equalize this sort of deficit that he's got going on. Naniwa is going to be pushing out now with the maxed army, and Happy's going to be getting a few Vikings to take out those Colossi, but there's just too many Colossi. 4 Colossi now, and this Bio Ball could be falling very quickly. And the Colossus, oh my god, Colossi, and Zealot's going to be ripping that apart so fast. Getting some very good EMPs off, but he's not able to take the Colossi. The Thermal Lines keeping them well out of range of the army, and GG, happy GG's. Naniwa taking that game. I have been Penguin, and thank you for tuning in.